Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I'm finally all the way caught up on this season, and child, let's talk about it. Okay, so obviously I'm not about to sit here and recap each episode that I've missed because who wants to hear all of that, okay? But I do got a couple of opinions that I wanted to share with y'all. Okay, so let's start with Danielle. Miss Danielle, I heard about your little social media shenanigans, and I'm gonna try to not judge you based off of that, but right now I ain't feeling you too much. I will say this though. This whole situation with her brother and her being estranged, I think it's really not cool how Jackie and Margaret have decided that she's not telling the whole story about their fallout. Who cares? That was never the point. The point of her bringing it up was to tell Teresa, Melissa, and Joe that you don't want to fall out with your only sibling over something so petty. That was the only point of her bringing up her story about what was going on, is that she could relate to having a sibling that she no longer has a relationship with, and it's dumb, and you don't want to fall out with your sibling over nonsense. That was her only point of bringing it up. She didn't want sympathy. She didn't want everybody patting her on the back and saying, oh my God, we're Team Danielle. I don't think that was ever the point of it. So for Jackie and her funny looking self to sit up there and say, we don't think that's the real story. Do you guys think that's the whole story? It doesn't matter if it's the whole story. It doesn't even really matter. Maybe that's not the entire reason why her brother stopped talking to her, but I do think that was the defining moment. I do think that was the smoking gun, and he was, for whatever reason, he might have been telling her, I don't like how you're acting on social media. He might have been picking on her and she didn't like that he was picking on her. Who really knows? What is it to you, Jackie? What is it to you, Margaret? We don't know the full context of why Jackie's sister stopped speaking to her. We don't know the full context of why Margaret's kids don't speak to her. She's told us what she wanted us to know. And because they're not public figures, we never heard their side of the story. I really don't care to hear their side of the story, to be honest. Just like I don't really care to hear Danielle's brother's side of the story, because I really don't care about Danielle's brother and her situation. We have had enough sibling drama to last us the rest of our housewives' days. I hope we never want to know none of this ever again. As much as Jacqueline and Caroline got on my nerves, I can respect the fact that they didn't bring their family drama to our show. And I'm going to need Jackie to pipe all the way down and shut up. Unless you're going to tell us why you and your sister don't talk. Otherwise, keep it cute and keep it on mute. Just leave the show. Why is she even here? Why is Jackie even here? I don't like her. Now, Dolores. Dolores's storyline, it ain't really doing it for me. It ain't really doing it for me because they're not approaching it the way that makes it interesting. The fact that Frank is butthurt because she's establishing boundaries with him and she has a new boyfriend, that has a lot of potential to be interesting, but it's just not interesting. Dolores don't know how to do stuff right. Oh my God. And maybe that's her point though. Maybe she likes to just give y'all a little something. I don't know. She keeps saying that Frank doesn't like change. And who cares what Frank likes? Okay. I used to admire the friendship between Dolores and Frank. Last season, I saw a side of Frank that I didn't know existed. Like, finding out that the kids really wasn't seeing it for their dad like that really made me look at Dolores sideways. Because I was under the impression that, you know, the kids just love their parents and they're always together and they just, you know, live this co-parenting lifestyle because of the children. And it turns out the kids don't even really like Frank like that. So Dolores, you have been sitting here giving this man all the benefits of being your husband, but he gets to be single at the same time. You want to sit in our faces now and say, oh, Frank doesn't like change. Yeah, because you've never made, like, nothing has to change. He literally is a man who has his cake and eats it too. He had you as a wife. Every good thing about being your husband, he still gets to reap the benefits of being your husband without having to be your husband. And he gets to be out there and cheat in peace. Because he's not really cheating because he's single. Like, if we're not going to address that, then what are we talking about, Dolores? Like, Paulie ain't never said nothing wrong. Like, Paulie isn't wrong in wanting to have boundaries and, man, like, you're my girlfriend, this, that, and the third. But I just hope that Paulie sticks around because he's making all these changes in Dolores's life. And are you going to be here? That's the real question. But yeah. Okay, so Jennifer Aiden. Y'all know I love Jennifer. I love Jennifer down, okay? She is my girl. I really want Jennifer to just accept that these women don't like you. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to make them like you. There's nothing you're going to express that's going to change anything. I hate how quick she was to accept Margaret's apology when you're still hurting. You're still dealing with what Margaret did to you. And you accepted her apology, but you really didn't accept her apology because you're still hurt. And not only is Jennifer hurt, her children are hurt. On Watch What Happens Live, Jackie was like, oh, why are we blaming Margaret? It was Bill that cheated. Yes, you're right. It was her husband that cheated. It wasn't Margaret that cheated. But Margaret went out of her way to reveal this information that nobody knew. Nobody was talking about it. It wasn't on anyone's radar. She threw that out there and it hurt Jennifer's kids. It doesn't matter that Bill did it. They dealt with it as husband and wife. And for Margaret to put that information out there, it hurt those kids. And she doesn't get to be absolved of it because she didn't know that it was going to hurt Jennifer. Your sole intention was to hurt Jennifer. It was to humble Jennifer. It was to shut Jennifer up. And for them to sit there the season prior and say, oh my God, Teresa's so bad for what she said about Jackie's husband, whatever his name is, but then you do the same thing and you don't want nobody to say that you're wrong. It's like, girl, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I just feel like Jennifer, if Margaret had to go 10 years into the past to say something about you and your husband, bitch, and it hurt you. It's like she lined your ass up, she shot you and hit her target. Bitch, you need to start hitting targets. I wanted to see Jennifer come in this season and unapologetically empty the clip on all of them. And Melissa included, because Melissa got a good key out of it. Melissa sat up there and was giggling and kikiing with her mom and sisters about Jennifer's marriage. I wanted to see Jennifer come in this season and spray everybody. And she's doing it in a little way. And I guess she's doing it strategically. And it's like, I guess, Jennifer, I'm not mad at it. But I don't want Jennifer to feel bad for nothing she said. Because them hoes don't give a damn about how you feel. But I really need her to let the dream die. These women will never like you. The way that she was explaining herself to Danielle and the Kleenex nose girl, it was like you were trying to recruit them to your side, and that annoyed me. That made me feel a way towards Jennifer. I didn't like that. Like, it's like, Jennifer, you that bitch. Why are you begging these newbies to be your friend? Why do you need to play? Like, I didn't like that. And I feel like she's kind of out of it a little bit, but then she realized that she kind of has Danielle, so she's playing that. I just don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, if that's how you have to move, I guess. I just want Jennifer to let it go. These hoes don't like you. And don't be surprised if Danielle turns on you next season, is all I'm saying. Teresa's your friend. You and Dolores are patching things up. The rest of them, let it be. Let it be. Stop begging these people for their approval. Stop begging for their friendship. It's pathetic. It really is. But I did want to say, Olivia saying that she wanted to be a love therapist, that broke my heart. I want Margaret to pay for what she did. As much as I didn't really care that she revealed that secret about Jennifer's husband, when I saw that it affected that little girl, that made me to care. Because honestly, I didn't really care. I felt like, Jennifer, girl, you should have expected it. Don't go on TV if you didn't want it to come out. But I didn't feel nothing. But when I saw that little girl was like affected, that had me in my feelings. I want them to, Margaret, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay, Margaret. You are. Now, when it comes to Teresa, Melissa, and Joe, I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Which is why I'm barely reviewing the show this season. Which is why I'm taking my time to watch the episodes. I'm tired. I'm so sick of it. I just am. You know, I think everybody knows I'm a tree hugger. I love Teresa. That's my girl. I think I've said it before, when it comes to this in-law beef, a lot of us viewers have experienced this in real life, so we tend to project our feelings and emotions onto them. And we just tired. I'm tired of seeing it. I want it to not be a part of Jersey anymore. I think the ratings also reflect that y'all tired of it too. People ain't watching like that. It's too much. It's too much. Like, a show is supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be your escape. We're supposed to kiki at the nonsense. Like Jennifer prompting the psychic lady who was reading the coffee cup. That's the type of antics that Housewives is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be about destroying people's life and their families and their children. It's not supposed to be all of that. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be nonsense. It's supposed to be fluff. It's not supposed to be all this extra grimy, dirty mess, okay? We tired. Teresa not inviting Melissa's family, I stand by her in that decision. Why should she invite them? Y'all don't like Teresa. Why is it imperative for you to attend her wedding? You don't like her. That's witchcraft. Why do you want to be in attendance of someone's wedding who you don't like and you don't support? And you never miss an opportunity to insult her. I remember, I don't know what season it was, but whatever season Jennifer threw the mother's brunch, right? And everybody brought their mama to Jennifer's house, and obviously Teresa was the only one there without her mother, and Teresa was looking around, and all of a sudden she broke down and she was crying, and everybody was trying to comfort her. And I remember Melissa's mother really trying to go and comfort Teresa, and Teresa could not accept that gesture from her mother. I knew then that there was some type of hurt that had never been addressed. I mean, she would not let that lady console her. And I know how that feels. Like, I cry every time Teresa cries about her parents. I cry about my own parents, okay? I'm a tree hugger for so many reasons, because I can truly relate to Teresa. Y'all just have no idea. I can relate. When she started crying, I instantly thought about the first Mother's Day after my mom passed. For Teresa to have known this lady for over 20-something years, and this lady wants to hug you and console you. She knew your mother, and you can't allow yourself to be consoled by her. Clearly, there's something there. So for Melissa to now say that there is a history, or she was offended by Teresa saying that there is a history, it's like, Melissa, girl, go to hell. There's a history there. There is a history there. I had no idea that Melissa's mom was on Twitter liking all these ugly, nasty, negative tweets about Teresa. But you want to be included in her special day. You want to be at her wedding. Do you want to be at her wedding because of the fanfare? Because you know it's a big Bravo production. They're filming a TV show. All types of celebrities are going to be in attendance. It's going to be in magazines. Is that the reason why Melissa's family wanted to be at the wedding? Or because they truly love Teresa and they wish her well? Because if you truly love Teresa and wished her well, y'all would be getting along. Y'all would be getting along. Y'all would be around each other all the time. She would have obviously invited you. But why do you want to be included in someone's wedding that you don't even like? And the fact that Joe and Melissa, like, y'all are serious. And then the fans are like, well, it's Italian tradition. It's an Italian tradition for a lot of things that they don't probably carry out. There's a lot of Italian traditions that I'm sure Melissa and Joe don't carry out. Why is Teresa's wedding about you guys? About your mom and your sister? And it's like, girl, bye. And I think another thing that people don't realize is Teresa literally be fighting these motherfuckers. Teresa really be fighting these people all by herself. Y'all fail to realize Teresa is by herself. She has one sibling, that is Joe Gorga. Melissa has two siblings. They both are married, so she has two siblings, two brother-in-laws. They have family members. They have adult children. They have a whole team. So whenever Melissa and Teresa get into some type of argument or disagreement, they automatically back Melissa. Whether Melissa is right or wrong, they all jump on one Teresa. It's one Teresa, and Melissa got 50 people over here going against one person. Is that fair? Is she supposed to just concede because she's outnumbered? Teresa already doesn't do well defending herself. She doesn't know how to articulate herself properly. She doesn't. In their family, there are a lot of secrets. There's a lot of things that Teresa don't bring up and she don't speak on. So because of that, yeah, she's often taken advantage of. Melissa will bring something up. Teresa could have a perfectly good argument to counter what Melissa is saying, but because she doesn't want to expose something else, she doesn't say it, and she ends up looking like an idiot. But I think this season, the reason why the fans have been so toxic is because people are literally tired of, we're watching the show. There have been so many examples that have happened on the show alone where we're like, Melissa, girl, you full of shit. Teresa might not want to bring up this, but we saw that shit happen. Little Joey's christening. Did y'all see how Melissa's family and her in-laws acted at that christening? Y'all want Teresa to invite that type of energy to her wedding? And they will do it because they don't really like Teresa. You've done all this planning and all this stuff and you spend all this money. And if Melissa gives them a wink, they will tear that whole thing up. I don't blame Teresa one bit. I wouldn't have invited them people. The way they acted at that christening like some animals. Y'all can't come to my wedding. I don't want you there. Case closed. And I wish Teresa would have just stood on that and said, I'm not inviting them. Now, this whole Pizzagate situation to me is really stupid and ridiculous as well. You don't get along with your sister, but you want to go into business with your sister. Y'all haven't gotten along with each other for a very long time, but you think that we should start a business together in honor of our father. Joe Gorga is full of shit. Joe Gorga is a user. He's a bloodsucker. He is not a decent person. And I'm sick of them always kind of skating by that. Why would you want to go into business with Teresa? You can't stand Teresa. You don't like her husband to be, but you want to go into business with him. He screwed you out of a business deal. You didn't put no money into it, but she got stuck holding the bag. Her man is out of money, and she's stuck with a product she can't sell. But you know what? I don't even feel bad for Louis. I don't feel bad for Louis at all because Louis hard-headed. Louis is one of those people that thinks he knows it all. Louis really thinks I'm sorry, he gives used car salesmen. I've been saying for the longest, I don't know about Louis. But you know what? Teresa, she happy. If Teresa's only going to be happy for a short amount of time, let her be happy. I honestly, that's her business. She's a grown woman. She survived a much worse. I don't really think I care. Joe Gorga trying to make it seem like Louis is this bad. I'm not saying that Louis is a good guy because I don't know that I trust Louis. However, if he's a bad guy, why are you trying to go into business with him? The simple fact that there was so much conversation and speculation about Louis last year, and you weren't sure if you could trust him, why would you go into business with him? It seemed like y'all saw stupid written across his forehead and you decided to take him for a ride, is what it really seems like. Because if you don't trust him, he's not a good guy. Your gripe shouldn't be that Melissa's mom isn't invited to the wedding. Your gripe should be, I'm not sure I want my sister marrying him. Your gripe should be, sis, are you sure you want to marry this guy? Your issue should not be Melissa isn't a bridesmaid and Melissa's mom and sisters aren't invited to the wedding. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. If he's a bad guy, that should be your concern. Your only sister is marrying a guy that you don't trust. That should be your gripe. But your gripe is, oh, my wife's sister and mom aren't invited to the wedding. At the end of the day, Joe Gorga does not like Teresa. He does not like his sister, but he benefits from being her brother. And he's going to take advantage of that. And Melissa will as well. You don't like your sister. I'm so tired of people being like, oh, they joined the show behind Teresa's back. Again, Teresa don't know how to fight verbally. She don't know how to argue. Because them joining the show behind your back, what does that even matter? At this point, we all know that's what they did. I think everyone knows that's what they did. The real conversation should be, why did you want to join the show if you didn't like me? Because that's really what it was. You didn't like Teresa. Y'all weren't speaking to Teresa like that. Y'all wasn't messing with her. She's over here doing something she auditioned for. She got the part. She's on this show. Y'all were hell-bent to come on this show and turn the audience against her. You couldn't stand seeing her on this show thriving and doing something that you guys couldn't be a part of. So you did everything you could to take her down. That should be what we're talking about. You went to the one person that wasn't getting along with her on the show and you fed them a whole bunch of stuff about Teresa to make her look bad. You get on the show and you can't shut up about Teresa. But your family, but you want to be close. How? From the first day y'all was on that show, all you did is talk crap about Teresa. In the confessionals, you throwing jabs. You're making this comment. You're saying this, you're saying that. You're calling the lady garbage in front of her small child. It's like, that's the stuff that Teresa should argue, and she doesn't, because she doesn't. And that's my thing with them. And it's like, I know a lot of people be like, oh, I'm sick of both of them. And honestly, I'm sick of both of them as well. I'm still always going to support Teresa, but I'm sick of the whole situation. Anytime Teresa has a gripe, they gaslight her. But when Teresa does something to offend them, she's the worst person in the world. You will never, ever see a point where Joe and Melissa say, you know what, Teresa, I'm sorry you felt that way. That was not our intention. We should have done something differently. Instead, they will gaslight her and say, why is that an issue? Why are you mad about that? But when you guys are mad, you guys are allowed to have your emotions, and everyone is supposed to feel how you feel. I'm just sick of this merry-go-round of foolishness. I really, truly am. And I truly hope when Teresa says she's done, I hope she's done. Next season, I don't want to hear about this. I really don't, because it's too much. It's too much. And then my sister Teresa, I love you. You don't make the good arguments. And when they hit you with something, you don't never had nothing to hit them back with. Even though we watching the show, we can say, girl, why you didn't bring up this? Why you didn't bring up that? It's too much. So on the last episode, y'all seen it. The new girl was asking if Teresa's kids are close to Melissa's kids. And I didn't even understand why she would ask that question. And I really don't understand why Teresa took the bait, but she did. And it was just kind of like, Melissa, why didn't you just stop your friend and say, girl, why are you asking her that? Because that was clearly a trap and it was messy and I didn't like it. Teresa says that Melania was upset that Antonia didn't come to her Sweet 16. When Melissa said, don't say her name, don't even speak my child's name, but you've been speaking about Teresa's kids since they were little kids. You've been speaking about Teresa's kids. When you said that her 4 daughters would bully Antonia, Adriana was still an infant. And you were talking about an infant growing up to bully your daughter. You said that. But then Teresa is not allowed to say that Melania was disappointed that Antonia didn't come to her party. She even sat on that bus and said, well, when Gabriella has a soccer game, you don't pull her out of soccer to come to our son's christening. But bitch, your first season on the show, your first episode on the show, when Gia and Joe Judice couldn't make it to the church, you had an issue. Somebody was showing a clip on Twitter how you was like, oh, in our family comes, in our household, family comes first. She could have pulled Gia out of whatever she had going on. You forgot you said that because she's so used to Teresa not being able to recall those examples. Teresa's the bad guy, but you're not. When you talk about Teresa's four girls, you ain't wrong. But she says Antonio's name and it's a problem. And then Jackie, funny looking ass, gonna get in that confessionals and said, all I said was Gia's name. Let me tell you, side note, Jackie, you lucky. Jackie, you lucky. Because baby, had I been Teresa, I would have ran your ass up off that show. I wouldn't have put my hands on you. But girl, the taunting that I would have done to Jackie, she would have left that show. You made an analogy about her daughter doing drugs. And you talking about, I only mentioned her name. Girl, the way I would have rolled Jackie's back on that show. Teresa let you off the hook easy. You thought you was distressed. Bitch, I would have made you, you would have left the show. Now, as for Margaret and this obsession with pretending to be upset because Jennifer says that she has an arsenal and now she mad at the new girl and the two newbies are beefing because of Margaret, and Margaret is hounding Danielle because Danielle said, girl, Margaret, we're not even gonna spend too much time on you. You do have an arsenal on people. The fact that you haven't had a storyline in like 4 or 5 seasons. You ain't never really had a storyline. Your first 2 seasons, I will give you, you had a little bit of a storyline because you was beefing with Siggy. You were introducing yourself and you were beefing with Siggy. Was it Siggy? Yes. You were introducing yourself, you were beefing with Siggy. That was your first season. The next season, were you beefing with Danielle? I believe so. All you do is plop yourself into everybody else's business. You haven't had a storyline because everybody else's business is your storyline. Didn't you have First Chair last year? And now one storyline, not one scene was about her life. Everything was about Teresa and Louis. Girl, and I'm really trying to remember, when did Teresa and Margaret go wrong? Because they were cool. When she started talking about Teresa was dating somebody with a backpack, I feel like that's when they started to go wrong. Anyways, yeah, Margaret is full of shit. Like, you're so upset because they say you have an arsenal. You do. You have an arsenal, and what? Why are we pretending like you're upset about this? You do that shit on purpose. Okay, so about this Laura friend that Margaret has, I'm just really confused by why they didn't want to bring that lady on the show. Because y'all obviously using everything she had to say. Like, why did production not want to bring her on the show? Like, if you don't want to bring her on the show, why are we talking about the gossip that she fed Jen and Teresa? I feel like they should have brought her on the show. I don't know. Like, I remember old school Jersey. They used to do that kind of mess. They used to bring the girls on the show that had stories to tell. Even when the shit wasn't, you could tell it was nonsense. They used to bring them on the show. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that Melissa was kissing somebody in the back seat. I don't know if it's that I don't believe it or I don't care. Probably both. I don't know that I believe it, but I also don't really care. And maybe the point was not necessarily that she believed that Melissa was cheating on Joe in the backseat with another man, but more so that Margaret had this information and was, and it was in the arsenal. I don't really know. I don't know. I just feel like I don't care. I don't care. If Melissa's cheating on Joe, that's uswana mionde. Don't have nothing to do with me. I don't care. I don't know. Like, everybody's like, oh my God, it's just so damaging. And it's just kind of like, Melissa and Joe, I wouldn't be surprised if they all working together to plant this rumor so that they have a reason to come back to the show. Like, that is the respect that I have for them. That's how I look at them. I view them as somebody, as two people who would absolutely do that. Pretend like, oh, we're so hurt by this rumor. Like, honestly, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if we did our Scooby-Doo investigation and found out that them and Margaret cooked up this scheme to come to us with the bullshit. Because it's not even juicy. Like, I don't care. Like, I do not care. Like, it's not anything that's like, ooh, like, I don't care. I would not be surprised if they cooked this up just to be like, oh my God, you see, Teresa's so terrible. Look what she did to us. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But I do feel like Margaret being so upset that Teresa and Jen went to speak with her is some bullshit, is some hypocrisy. You sit up there and you constantly jab Jennifer about the things that you've heard about her. But then when she goes looking for information on you, then it's like, oh my God, you're a digger. And just like y'all was digging, y'all dig all the time. Who cares? I wish Jennifer would own it. Like, I really wish Jennifer would own it and be like, yep, I'm a digger, and what? You can't whoop me. That's what she should say. You can't whoop me, and what? Like, I just think I don't know. I feel like if Laura was the right type of bitch, she should have brought her ass on the show and make her accusations herself. Give Margaret a real storyline. That's what y'all should have done. But yeah, honestly, I'm just manifesting the next season to be better. I know they're not gonna get rid of Melissa, but I need no more Joe, Teresa, and Melissa. I don't want it anymore. I am manifesting that the next season y'all will release us from the group chat of seeing Melissa, Teresa, and Joe argue and fight and bicker back and forth. Take us out of the group chat. We tired. We don't want it. We never wanted it. And see, this is why, again, Nene Leakes was the ultimate housewife. Because when Phaedra tried to play with her like that, when Phaedra tried to bring Nene's half-sisters on the show through the back door, Nene was like, not on my watch. You got me messed up. And I'm so thankful that Nene did that. Because this Melissa, Joe, and Teresa beef, baby, the way we could have done without that. The way we never needed that shit. I am manifesting the next season. They can fight. If they want to continue fighting till Kingdom Come, we don't care. Okay? But we just don't want to see it on the show. I'm going to need Melissa and Joe to have something else to talk about. Teresa done had other storylines. I'm going to need Melissa and Joe to find something else to talk about. But really, that's all I really got, because we can keep talking about this same thing over and over and over, and it's still going to come to next season. We don't want to see none of this. I do hope that we get the wedding special before they show us the reunion. But who knows? Who knows? You know. I really feel like that's important, because they gave us the full season 7 before Ultimate Girls Trip. And a lot of people had a hard time understanding what was happening in Ultimate Girls Trip Thailand because of the reunion of Potomac. So hopefully with Jersey, we get Teresa's wedding and then we get the reunion. Because baby, they done did this reunion and everybody's talking about it. And it better not disappoint. That much I know. But anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.